Welcome back to Talking Torah. I'm Rabbi Ravid Tilles, and I am thrilled to welcome back to not only the Merrick Jewish Centre, and not only to Merrick, but back to the United States of America, our beloved, lovely Benji Schoenfeld, who is back from his year on Nativ. He is now a Boger Nativ, an alumni of the Nativ program, our U.S.-wide program for college students, first year out of high school. And really, Benji, I gotta say, my heart is overjoyed to see you, to be in person with you again. We missed you terribly, but are sure that you had a great time. Tell us about Nativ.
Well, first of all, Ravid, it's so good to see you too. I enjoyed keeping in touch with you this year a little bit. Our Facebook chats were always nice.
Yes.
Nativ was an incredible experience. It's hard to describe how much I loved it. But taking the year off before college was what I needed, and being in Israel just made it that much more special.
Great. What was so special about being in Israel?
It was me learning more about Judaism and celebrating holidays in a different way than before, and going to different shuls in Jerusalem and celebrating Shabbat in Jerusalem and everywhere in Israel. Just being in Israel was just incredible. Israel
really makes you feel like your Judaism gets taken to a whole nother level, right? It's like an insert. You've always been a committed Jew. You've always been connected to your community here and the greater Jewish community. And to be able to go to Israel and get that shot of adrenaline, it's just going to take you to that next level.
Well, being in Israel wasn't for me about being more observant or connecting more. I've always been a very spiritual, observant Jew. Even like after I came off of USY and meals, it was more about learning new things and practicing different customs, and I got to learn all that, and it makes all the difference.
Great. Oh, that's great. Well, we hope that you'll bring some of those new customs back with you here.
Of course. I
Good.
Hope the congregants like it.
I'm sure they will. Anything that you bring back from Israel is going to be most welcome. I can assure you that.
I'm glad.
Yeah. So, well, let's talk a little bit about Torah, and we'll see. I'm sure that over the last number of months you've grown and matured in your thoughts about Torah. Actually, this week's parsha is your bar mitzvah parsha, so let's get to it. Let's talk a little bit of Torah. So this week's parsha, as you mentioned, is Parshat Naso, which is right at the beginning of the book of Numbers, the second parsha in the book of Numbers. And one of the key elements of this week's parsha is learning about the laws of the Nazirite. So, the Nazir. So, someone who is a Nazir is someone who has taken on an extra responsibility. They not only do they take on the responsibility of fulfilling all of the mitzvot, just like any other Jewish person would do, but a Nazirite has some extra responsibilities. They can't cut their hair, they can never shave, they can't cut their hair, they can't drink wine, right? These extra responsibilities are meant to bring them to an even higher spiritual level. But when I think about that, it's a little bit problematic, maybe. And I'm curious to hear what you have to say. Because how can it be that within a law system, because that's what the Torah is, right? It's a law system. But within the law system, it's here's what you have to do, here's what you can't do. And then there's also something above, and it says, and here's what you would be nice if you did, but it's not a big deal if you don't do. We have to drink grapes on Shabbos to make Kiddush. But if you want, you can actually take a higher stance and not drink grape, right?
Yeah.
You actually you're higher if you don't do it ever, right? Yeah. So how do you reconcile that?
What do you mean by reconcile?
Well, it feels odd to me. It feels odd.
I think it's possible. You just shouldn't look at it in terms of a Nazirite. You should look at it in terms of, let's say, being Shomer Shabbat, like keeping the laws, or keeping the spirit of Shabbat. One can maybe keep the laws of Shabbat to the nth degree, but are they enjoying it? Are they relaxing? But keeping the spirit of Shabbat, whether or not you keep all the laws or not, that's going a step beyond, maybe.
Oh, good. Very good. So it's the spirit of it all. That's exactly right. And when we talk about a law system, we know that any judge who is worth anything don't only follow the letter of the law, right? They also try to understand the spirit of the law. What did in American law, what did our founding fathers have in mind when they created these laws? And same with us. What is meant in the Torah when it says this? Well, sure, we should make kiddush, but we should also show restraint and not be overly indulgent in wine. But I love your example of Shabbat observance, that it's really about the spirit, and it's not only about the letter of the law. That's a wonderful thought.
I actually learned this year. I learned that I think it's from a Kabbalistic theory that says that the grape was the fruit that Adam and Eve ate in the Garden of Eden. So perhaps maybe that's why.
Wow.
That's why they don't eat.
So not the apple, right? We always think about the apple as being the forbidden fruit that they ate from, because that's what a lot of the artistic portrayals are. Yeah. But there's a Kabbalistic teaching that you're saying that it was actually grape, and so we kind of connect back to the Garden of Eden every time that we drink wine, but the Nazir gets to an even higher place of before that being expelled from the Garden of Eden when they don't drink wine. That's very interesting. I had never heard that teaching. See, the things you learn in Israel, and you already come back with it, and it's already proving well. So that's great. So two amazing thoughts from Benji. The one about the Kabbalistic teaching, bringing us back to the Garden of Eden, and this idea about Shabbat observance being a hidden message that we're thinking about with the Nazarite. That's wonderful. So thank you so much to Benji. And one other thing I wanted to mention while Benji's here is on Sunday is the Israel Day Parade in New York City. And through the Merrick Jewish Community Council, we are sending a delegation. And if you're interested in marching in that parade, which I know, Benji, you said you're going to be marching with USY as a Boger Nativ, but for everybody else who's not that active in USY per se, join us with the Merrick Jewish Community Council. Contact either the office, or you can contact Ira Blankstein to talk to him about signing up for that. It's a wonderful way to celebrate the amazing customs and culture that Israel has to offer, the things that Benji talked about at length.
Every person who marches or watches from the side makes all the difference, and we need to show the world how strong we are and how Israel will be here, no matter what people say.
Amen, amen, amen. So thank you so much again, Benji, and thank you everybody for watching. Shabbat Shalom and Lehitraot.